I'm here in Hazelwood Cemetery. This is a huge cemetery. It was founded in 1867. About the same time as the National Cemetery, which is attached to it. You see over here, there's the National Cemetery. I don't really have a plan here. I'm just going to walk around and look at things that seem interesting. You don't see monuments like this anymore. It said 1867, but this lady died in 1859, so I guess it just became that Hazelwood. It seems like people were being buried here. There's a mom next to her stillborn baby. Campbell family. John Campbell founded Springfield. I have to look up the birth and death years. I don't remember them off the top of my head. The Eisenmeyer family had a big flour mill in Springfield, the early 20th century. I believe Andrew's father is the one that founded the mill. This is Andrew. Okay, I think it was him. 1935 sounds about right, when he passed away, and so then his son, Junior, took over. And this is his wife. This is a really beautiful cemetery. This is the O'Day family. I only know of one O'Day. Paul O'Day was the prosecutor in Springfield in early 1900s. There was a major streetcar strike in 1916 and 1917, and I wrote an academic paper on it. And so he was the prosecutor at the time, and so all the court cases I looked at, he was the one prosecuting them. After the streetcar strike ended, within a couple of years, he went to Texas. And in the early 20s, he was murdered by opposing counsel. I think he just walked up and shot him. I'll have to look it up. He's not here, obviously. this may be his family, though? I have to assume he was buried in Texas. I'll look some of these people up and see in what way, if any, they are related to him, and I will put it in text form. But I'm thinking he was probably in his 30s in 1916 and 1917. I'll have to double check on that. This could potentially be his father. This could too. It's pretty windy. I hope that's not really messing up the sound. Flowers were there the last time I was here. It's nice. And this is Phelps. The Phelps family are extremely important in Springfield too. We have a Phelps Grove Park in Springfield. So John S. Phelps was a member of the Missouri legislature in 1840, a congressman 1844 to 1862. He had a regiment in the U.S. Army during the Civil War. Military governor of the state of Arkansas, 1862. And he was governor of Missouri from 1877 to 1881. It's pretty impressive, which is why we name a bunch of stuff for him. This is his son, who served in the Civil War. 2nd Arkansas Cavalry. Died in 1922. And this is either his daughter or his son's wife. I'm not sure on that one. These are the children they lost in infancy or childhood. I see 7 years, 8 years, 8 months. So sad. I believe these are the graves of those children. I know one of them was named Lucy. Oh, litter bug. I'll pick that up. Okay, it actually had flowers in it. They're pretty much dead, but I'm guessing there are people who remove things like this. So I will leave that because that is a gift from somebody. This one also predates the founding of the cemetery. I think this gravestone is neat. It's aged just enough to look really interesting, yet it's completely legible and still. Patty and Robert Pate. I guess these are their kids. Margaret. Oh, I guess they just had the one daughter. No. She's older than them. I bet that's his mother. Louise. Born in '02. She's probably their daughter. And their son. And this is a different family. R.P. Dickerson, I believe he's the one who owned the land where the zoo is now, but he also had a farm near Marshfield. I think the actual address was Conway, but it was near that area. And middleweight champion boxer Stanley Ketchel was staying with him in 1910 when his hired hand and his cook robbed and murdered Stanley while he was there at his farm. And I'm actually going to talk about that case. I don't know if RP is buried here or not. You can see a little bit inside this, and you can see that there are graves there, but there's nothing that says who's in there. So I don't know if he is. He probably is, but I can't prove it. Okay, everybody, Rolla P. Dickerson is inside this. He's on the top. I'll go around the back. I was able to stick my iPad in the door. He's right there. And then Susan is here, and Leon. And I'm not sure how they're related. Susan, it said, was someone, Jerome Dickerson's wife. Maybe he's on the other side. But yeah, this guy right here, and I was able to take photos. It was too dark to take video. But yeah, his farm is where Stanley Ketchel, middleweight champion, boxing champion of the world, was murdered. And Stanley Ketchel fought Jack Johnson, who was a heavyweight. And of course he got his tail whipped, but I mean, the guy outweighed him 30 or 40 pounds. So it's kind of, yeah, he was good. He was good at what he did, but not Jack Johnson, weighs a lot more than me. Good. That's pretty neat. Reminds me of Art Deco style. Kind of reminds me of like a car company. Chevy? I'm not a big car person, so please don't roast me if that's the wrong company, but it reminds me of that. I love that her nickname was Pinky, and that she lived to be 100, she almost made it to 102. You go, girl. She'd been widowed a really long time, too. This is interesting. Are there two people in this plot? 1963 and 94. mausoleum, and what I like about this one is it tells you who's in there, whereas the Dickerson did not. But Lester Cox founded Cox Hospital. Lester Cox Sr., the elder. And that's a huge hospital system in Springfield. Let's see, and he was born in 1895 and died in 1968. And then his son, 22 to 93. I'm gonna call it a day. I have not even scratched the surface of this cemetery. So I will be back and I will look at different sections of it at a later time.